up is the mother of invention. That's one of my mottos, and it's perfectly epitomized in the making of this desk. I learned a lot of things by fucking this desk up, like how not to edge large wood slabs, how not to join those wood slabs, and how not to sand those wood slabs, among other things. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I'm not the most fastidious carpenter or remodeler. That's a work in progress. But I think one of my strengths is that when I do fuck up, I usually have a somewhat elegant way to fix it. And that's what I call character. This desk has a lot of character, and I love it. I have sitting out in my yard all these slabs of silver maple from a tree that we had to have cut down. And I actually bought a cheap mill, chainsaw mill, and with some friends' help, we milled it out, and the wood has been curing now for about a year and a half. To get the project started, my lovely wife helped me pick out a couple of slabs. It would have been nice to make the desk out of a single slab, but none of them were wide enough. The whole point of this project was to build a more ergonomically functional desk than the old one I had been using. A desk inherited from my grandmother that, although beautiful, was killing my posture. The slabs were about 2.5 inches thick, and I wanted to keep at least some live edge, but not so much that it messed up the ergonomics. After some consultation with my buddy Chris, who has made some beautiful live edge pieces, I came up with a plan. I would keep some live edge on each slab and simply edge join them. Simple, right? The first issue came with the little circular saw, which couldn't get all the way through the slab, so I finished the cut with a sawzall, always a precision tool. This was no problem on the ends, but a different story for the edges. Of course, a jointer would be perfect for this, but I don't have one. So first I tried the little circular saw and sawzall method, and when that was less than stellar, I tried flipping the board and using the circular saw on both sides. That's when I realized my circular saw is not at a perfect 90, so the cuts were slightly angled. My corded circular saw also didn't have the diameter to get through the board, and it turns out, because the surface of the board was uneven, neither the circular saws nor the table saw could make a perfectly square cut. At this point, I can almost feel all those master carpenters out there searching for their soapboxes to lecture me on everything I'm doing wrong. And they're right, of course. I also don't have a large planer, so I settled for some hand planing and sanding before hitting the edges one more time with my now squared circular saw. It still wasn't perfect, but sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck? Make your move. So I moved on to the glue up phase, and guess what? That didn't go as smoothly as planned either, but after some adjustments, I got it dialed in. This is where a large planer would have been really nice, but alas, it's not in the current budget. A couple passes with that would have done the trick here. I do love the angle grinder for sanding deep grooves and ridges, but it is very hard to avoid gouging. I used a combo of this, a heavy belt sander, and a hand planer. Because my glue-up joint kind of sucked, I thought I'd add a couple wood butterfly joints and make that gap look more intentional. I wanted to highlight all the ant galleries and the larger hole in the wood, so I played around with pouring epoxy and added some LED lights, as I've done in a number of smaller wood projects. See the link above. I used some scrap pieces to make 2 live edge shelves. True to my unfastidious nature, my shop is often messy, and sometimes I just wander about looking for things like a pencil or a tape measure. But wandering is part of my creative process. I jump in, I tinker, I screw things up, I step back and think, I fix things, I learn. Speaking of jumping in, I decided to try something new for the desk legs. I used 5/8 inch rebar. Bending the metal wasn't quite as I had envisioned it, but it worked surprisingly well. I was proud of myself for having the foresight to tape off the areas to be welded. That pride might have been what blinded me when it came time to actually install the legs. Can you see what I missed here? Whoops, forgot to insert into shelf number 2 first. This is me realizing I f***ed up again. Truth be told, I suck at welding, but in this case, I think it's fair to blame my tools. This cheap welder's feed isn't working very well. I was able to wrangle it though, then finish spray painting. At some point I want to do a project with this maple where I just highlight its natural beauty, but for this project I chose a dark stain, both because it will fit better with our decor and because it will hide some of the imperfections. Pretty sweet. I like it. After letting the stain cure for a few days, I did 4 coats of water-based polyurethane, sanding with 220 grit between coats. Water-based poly is very touchy, so this was one area where I had to summon some fastidiousness. The final surface isn't perfectly even, and you can still see some sanding marks, but hey, that's character. I love the way the grain pops, the story told by the ant galleries, and especially the luminescent tiger striping in the grain. And of course, my neck and back are thanking me. So, can multiple wrongs make a right? Sure, as long as you have the patience to rectify them. The functionality of it was not great. That's my dog. It's barking at the mailman. I just fucked up. How am I going to fix it?